Hi, I'm Joe Starsia, personal family lawyer at Starsia Law PLLC. Today I'm going to briefly describe the difference between a will and a trust. When we talk about the big difference between wills and trusts, what we're really talking about is how do we transfer assets after we're gone? And to think about that, it's important to start by thinking about how do we transfer assets while we're alive? And what are we talking about when we talk about assets, right? An asset is anything you own. An asset is your house, an asset is your bank account, an asset is your retirement account. Anything that you own is an asset. How do I transfer it while I'm alive? With most things, I can sign my name, right? So I can sign my name to transfer an asset, to sell an asset, to convert an asset, right? When I'm gone, I need some way of replacing that signature. Absent any other planning, the way that that's going to happen is that somebody else is going to have to go to a court and ask the court for an order that allows them to essentially sign my name for me, right? The way that that happens is with a court process called probate. Someone, hopefully the person who you've named as your executor, is going to go to court and ask for a court order that gives them permission to collect your assets together and then sell, give away, distribute those assets, right? That process, which is called probate, which we'll go into in more detail in other videos, is a lengthy process. On average, it lasts about 18 months, and it can be quite expensive and contentious, a variety of other reasons why you might not want your beneficiaries going to court. If you want to avoid court, then you need some other way of getting that asset from you to the people you want it to go to. And there are several ways of doing that, but the big one that's relevant to this discussion is putting the asset into some other entity that can hold the asset for you, and through a contract that you make with that entity, you're giving instructions on what should happen to that asset when you die. Right? The most common way we think about this is with beneficiary designations, for example, for retirement accounts. So if I have a retirement account, with Fidelity, then I have a contract with Fidelity that says Fidelity's going to hold my money, and when I die, they're going to distribute it to the beneficiaries that I name, right? And that's where a trust comes in. A revocable living trust is like an entity that you can set up yourself through a contract that's called a trust agreement. In fact, it's a contract between you and you, right? You are the grantors, or the settlors or the trust makers. These terms all mean the same thing, right? You are the person setting up the trust. You are the trustee, which is the person who is entrusted with holding the assets, right? And you're the lifetime beneficiaries. And by putting things into that trust today, or setting up beneficiary designations for other things so that they flow into that trust in the future, then we have avoided having to go to court because the rules of that trust, that contract, are going to dictate what happens to that thing, that asset, when I die. Right? So, back to wills versus trusts, right? What's the big difference? A will sets up a court-based process. A will is a set of instructions to the probate court as to who your assets should go to and who is the person who you want collecting and distributing those assets. That's commonly referred to as your executor, right? A trust is a private process. Right? It avoids the probate court by taking those assets, putting them in that trust, that separate entity, and then allowing the trust's rules to then determine what's going to happen to those assets when you die. So that's a very basic introduction to wills versus trusts. We'll go into more detail about what a revocable trust is and how it works in other videos. And if you have questions you want to ask us, leave them in the comments, and we'll be happy to make more videos and try to answer more questions. If you're ready to start thinking about these questions and talking to a lawyer about it, check out the link in the description for how to schedule an intro meeting with us, or give a call to our office, and we would love to talk to you.